In this video I'm going to be taking a clean install of Ubuntu 14.10 and turning it into the Gnome edition using a package known as tasksel. The reason I'm going to do this is I've tried to install the Gnome edition just from the beta 2 ISO, and while it will install, it then won't boot. And I've tried it several times and I'm not sure what's going on. Haven't been able to find anyone that's having a similar problem, but I'm wondering if people have given up to wait for the actual release later on next week. So hopefully this will work. What you're going to need to do is firstly open the terminal, and then you need to make sure that it is up to date. Okay, so this should be up to date because I've just installed it with all the updates. And let's have a look. Then, once you've done that, you will need to make sure you upgrade. So let's have a look. Oh good, nothing to upgrade. Excellent. And then you need to install sudo apt-get install something called tasksel. There we go. I'm going to pause it while this happens. Okay, so that's all installed. So next, what we have to do is run tasksel, and we should get this. Now, it will launch this interface, and all we have to do is pick what we do and don't want installed. So I want my print server to stay installed. You can see here we have lots and lots of different options. Now that's what I want installed. I'm just double checking what else is in there. Okay, and you can untick Ubuntu Desktop, which will completely remove Unity. However, I have heard people saying before that the Ubuntu Desktop package doesn't only contain Unity and sometimes contains other things that's needed, so I'm going to leave it on. I have plenty of disk space anyway, it's not like it takes up a lot. So next we let this do its thing, so it's going to download all of the files it needs. I've got quite a fast connection here, so it shouldn't take very long. And then it will start asking about display managers and other things. Now there's things we have to be aware of with this. Once we're finished, we're not going to be able to exit using this normal applet here, because especially if we remove the Ubuntu desktop package, that's no longer installed anymore, so we do have to reboot using the terminal. So here we go, and a display manager is a program that runs graphical login information, blah blah blah. Okay, so GDM is the one that we want for Gnome, and again we just let it install its packages. Now this is, I think this only installs Gnome version 10 if you're on 14.04. So this is 14.10 that I'm running here, so I think it should install 3.12, but it might not. If it doesn't really matter. There's a pretty straightforward way of updating to 3.12 anyway, and then we can look at updating to 3.14. I believe you really should make sure that you're on 3.12 before you go into 3.14 if that's possible, so we'll have a look at that afterwards. Right, I'm just going to pause the video here while the rest of this installs. Okay, so when that finishes, it automatically kicks you back to the terminal, so we just want to sudo reboot. Okay, so now we're ready to log in. I did get the blank screen again like I have with the Gnome edition, however it only lasted for about 10 seconds and then I got the Gnome splash screen followed by this. Now one thing you do need to be aware of is here you have to change from Ubuntu to Gnome. Now I've already done this once, I logged in, it was a bit messed up, I rebooted and I went back in and it was absolutely fine. So if you do remove the Ubuntu desktop, it doesn't mess up like it did before, but like I said, a quick reboot and it was all sorted. So here we go, we will now sign in. Okay, so what we have here is our basic desktop, and it's not going to be the latest one at the moment, not even the latest stable one. So what we need to do is open a terminal. And we're going to add the PPA here, so it's sudo add-apt-repository. Okay, and that should, oops, I didn't type that right, did I? Gnome 3, team Gnome 3. That's better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, and then I'm gonna sudo apt-get update. And then sudo apt-get upgrade. Hey, there we go. Actually, no, we're not going to do it that way. I found that I get better results if I do it this way, because the dist-upgrade will actually uninstall parts that we don't need anymore, and because we're changing the whole desktop environment, often it just doesn't work, it fails, tells you certain packages can't be installed. So this is the best way I've found to get it to work. So this will install the latest stable release, which is 3.12, which is what you should get if you install straight from the beta 2 DVD. However, as I said before, we're doing this all because the beta 2 DVD is not actually working in VirtualBox. It's not working in my copy of VirtualBox anyway. So okay, we'll come back to this once it's finished downloading and see how we've got on. Okay, so that's installed. I've rebooted just to make sure everything works okay, and now if I go into the terminal and if I type in Gnome session, Gnome session version, I see there, ignore that part, 3.12.1. so this should be what we would get if we had been able to boot the beta 2 DVD.